two peepees are back. Woo, 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 woo.
Hello,
Hello, I'm Vanessa.
my name's Annika, and you're listening to Two Peas in a Podcast. I'm gonna do a little
Yes.
Disney Channel thing like they do.
But.
There we go.
Yay. All right.
Hey.
So for this second episode, since Lunar New Year recently passed, I guess it was like around a month ago. There's been recent violence amongst the Asian
Yeah.
community though too. So I think it's still a
Mhm.
relevant topic, but we want to talk about just growing up Asian because we are both
Mhm.
Asian.
Asian American, yes.
Asian American, yes. So yes, and also we remembered to introduce ourselves this time. Yeah,
Yes.
after 40
Good.
minutes in
Thank you
improvement.
for
Yes.
everyone who gave us those little tips and advice.
Oh yes. Always appreciated. Always learn from our mistakes. So hopefully you still enjoyed the first episode. But yes. So I guess to start off with identifying what kind of Asian we are.
Yeah, because there's so many out there.
Oh
So,
yes.
personally, I'm Taiwanese American.
Yes. And I am Thai American and they are
Very
not the
similar.
same. Yes, they sound similar, but they are not the same.
I'm just gonna bring it up. Like
Yes.
my friends actually thought that Thailand and Taiwan were the same thing. I want to clarify, they're not the same
Same.
thing.
And we had to educate him thoroughly.
hmm But that's the
But
point,
it's
right? We have to educate
mhm.
people. It's
Yeah,
really
definitely.
important.
It's very important because there's so
hmm
many different cultures and types of
hmm
or different types of people within the Asian community that a lot of people forget about as well. But yeah, it's actually funny because in Thai, so you know how we introduced ourselves as like two PPs in like Thai culture. So when you address someone older than you call them P.
Yeah.
So 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 like our Thai friends like in college, they would call me like P Plair, which is my Thai name. So technically I'm two PPs because it starts with a P's.
Hey, you technically are a PP.
Yeah, a
Very cute.
PPs. But yeah, but also you would be considered like a P to like someone younger
Just a
than
P.
you. So we can technically be two PPs.
Oh, clever.
Mm.
See?
A,
That's where
we
how we
think
got our name, definitely.
obviously, yes. So Taiwanese
hmm
Thai, not the same. But what do you think
hmm
some of the common stereotypes within the Asian community are?
Oh, I feel like there's so many. It gets really blasted on that new Facebook group. Well, not new, but subtle Asian traits where
Oh,
all of them
yes.
really like gets out there, like
Yes.
boba, Nelly lunches, you
Yeah.
know.
Like doing homework and your parents not letting you go
hmm
anywhere.
Yeah, a bunch of extracurriculars, I feel like,
Oh,
or
yes.
like math, academia,
I know there's
bad
that.
driving.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, like, no one really brings that one up anymore, like bad driving, because I think everyone's bad at
Yeah,
driving.
at some point, yeah,
I think
everybody's
they
kind of
all
bad at
realize that they're all
driving.
bad at driving. But I think, like, now because of subtle Asian traits, we kind of are able to come
hmm
together with these
hmm
stereotypes and
Yeah.
also just kind of not make fun, but I don't know how else to describe it. Like,
Kind of like relate with each other because I feel like
yeah.
we could joke about it because we actually live that.
And I think that even though these are stereotypes, I feel like a lot of people still experience these types of
hmm
things. Like, I know at my school and like in my family, like academia was really important.
hmm
So we'd always try our best to do well. And even though parents would always be like, oh, you have to get straight A's, blah, blah, blah. Like,
hmm
I know that's like a common stereotype as well. Like, you have to get
hmm
straight A's or else you won't like measure up to everyone
Or you're like a
else.
disappointment or you don't live
Oh,
up to the
yeah.
expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah. I think as we grow older, we realize that, it is good to set goals for yourself, but also it's
Yeah.
not good to, pound these things into children. you know,
hmm
they might grow up and realize that the pressure that was put on them was very bad and could affect them in the long run when they grow older. Yes,
hmm
stereotypes, not good.
I feel like career wise too, there's just
Mm,
so much stigma on like, you know,
like
the
what
wealthy
job you have to get.
jobs.
Yeah,
hmm
I know there's a lot of posts about people going to like engineering versus art.
Yeah.
It was funny because I saw this post that was like parents, like Asian parents usually put kids through like piano, violin, a classical instrument. But then like if you,
Yeah.
yeah, me too. But then like as they grow older, like if you want to continue to pursue that, they're like, oh, what are you doing? Like you can't make money off
Yeah,
of
like
that.
what was the point of us going through that if you don't want us to continue it in the future? I don't
Yeah.
understand.
I think for me though, like I was put through like piano when I was a kid. Or I can still play piano kind of. like maybe
Mhm.
like Mary had a little lamb. Twinkle,
Okay.
twinkle, little star. But I do wish I was better at piano now. But I think because I
Mhm.
was forced into this hobby when I was a kid, I was like, no, I don't want to go. Like, don't force me to
Yeah.
go. And now, like, I regret not putting more of my time into
Mhm.
like playing an instrument, like getting to learn more things, I guess.
Yeah, I was also in piano. I started in like first grade and then I
Mm.
ended up playing until like high school,
Oh,
which is that I
wow.
know. So I had to go through like auditions, like
Mm-hmm.
recitals,
Oh.
and then I quit, right? And then I
Mm-hmm.
decided to go into Chinese instruments.
Oh,
And I feel
yeah.
like that really helped me connect to my culture. I feel
Mm.
like I wouldn't have been able to learn that much about myself, like the
Yeah.
musical culture, at least if I
Yes.
hadn't gone into it. And I think that's really important because a lot of people don't
Mm.
recognize like the supermarket songs. Although they seem like really whatever, I feel like
Mm.
it really connects you closer to home. And I feel
Yeah.
like I learned more about myself through it too. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just really happy that I was able to have that opportunity.
Yeah, to like
Mm.
learn your culture through music kind of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly. Because
Mm.
I'm also like a music and culture major, and it was
Oh,
like really
yeah.
weird being Asian and then
Right.
majoring in music because no Asian literally majors in music. But
But
yeah,
yes,
I'm just
I
really happy
know.
about that.
Yeah, that's good. I know like
Mhm.
for me too, when I was a kid, my mom had me and my sisters go to a Thai temple, and
Uh-huh.
there it was kind of like a school too. So it was like a temple, a school, like they used to have food there too. So it's really
Oh
popular
wow.
because everyone would come for the food, but
Mhm.
like the Thai kids would go to school like in the
Mhm.
morning on Sundays. And then
Mhm.
we would, like after our school was over, we would go practice. You could either participate in Thai dance or Thai music. Um,
Ooh.
yeah, so I didn't get the chance to do dance because my mom, she didn't want us to do dance. So like to do Thai dance, like you have to like put on a whole ensemble, and then I
Uh-huh.
know like for like some certain gestures, like your hands have to be like super bent. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Bent?
like yeah. So like if you look at my hand,
Oh.
like you want
Uh-huh.
your hand to be like this, like a rainbow, almost like backwards.
Oh my God. Like
Yeah, like that.
okay,
You're
like
like
no, that's like pain.
yeah, so I know my mom was telling me when she was young, she would have to like lotion her hands and bend them back, like make like practice bending them back so the fingers would stay like a rainbow
No
shape.
way. That's
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, so I think she didn't want us to go through that like pain, which I guess I was kind of thankful for, but also I always wanted to try Thai dancing, but I never got the chance. But that's okay,
Mhm.
because we also got put through like Thai music, so there's a lot of like
Mhm.
different instruments with Thai music, and then I
Ooh.
was able to also like the same thing for you. I didn't continue like too long, but it was still fun to learn, and it's cool that I had that
Yeah.
experience as well,
Mhm.
to like connect to my culture
Mhm.
and everything like that. But yeah, I think for me, I only really did it up until middle school because that's when I started to
Mhm.
do band, or maybe high school.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right before I went to high school, because I
Uh-huh.
started to do like marching bands. So I guess I still kind of was in
Ooh.
music, but not
Yeah.
in the same sense that like classical cultural field.
Mhm. Well,
Yes.
speaking of like culture and stuff, are you
Mm.
fluent in your languages? Or do you have like a
Mm.
Taiwanese like Thai name?
I did mention my Thai name. So my Thai name is Pre. And then my sisters, or my grandma had named me and my sisters and my brother
Aw.
too. But then, even though we all have Thai names, no one really addresses us by our Thai names, like at home.
Uh-huh.
And I think, like, when we're at home too, like, my mom and my dad would kind of mix like languages together. So they'll mix Thai
Okay.
and English.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you combine Thai and English? Tinglish?
Ting Ew.
Tingly. Ew, I don't like
I mean, I
that.
guess.
But I think because they have lived here for so long too, and
Uh-huh.
they had to learn English basically from nothing.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think they wanted to like kind of practice with us in a sense. I feel like I understand Thai more than I can speak it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can speak Thai kind of, um,
Mm.
enough to hold like a conversation, but not
Well,
like
that's
enough
good.
to be comfortable throughout the
Yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
if
yeah.
that makes sense. But yeah, I'm slowly learning though. It's one of my goals for
Oh,
this year
cute.
actually to like
That's good.
become better at Thai. So I
Uh-huh.
can like communicate with my mom more, communicate with my grandma more. But yes, right. And now, not very good, but still can hold a conversation very poorly. Yes. What
So for
about
me, I
you? Yes.
guess Taiwanese people speak Mandarin and
Mm,
usually Mandarin Chinese. So like Chinese
mm.
names usually have 2 to 3 characters. Mine only has
Oh,
2. because
Okay.
it starts with like your last name and then like whatever your parents decide to name you.
Oh,
So my
okay.
last name to write in Chinese is very difficult. So she wanted it to be easier for me to write. So she only gave me two character name. And then my
Okay.
sister too. I'm not gonna say it, but it kind of sounds like a shooting star in Chinese.
Okay.
And then I am pretty fluent in Mandarin Chinese, but not Taiwanese. Taiwanese is like a whole different language, but like the same
Oh.
characters. It's like
Oh.
really complicated. I know. It's
Interesting.
like
I didn't know
kind
that.
of loud, but I only understand like I don't understand. I do understand. Did you eat?
Like the
That's
basic ones
probably
to
about it. Yeah,
get other
exactly.
people to understand that you don't understand.
But most people in Taiwan do speak Mandarin, so I can
Okay.
communicate with them pretty easily because my mom
Mhm.
sent my sister and I to Chinese school
Ah, yes.
literally before grade school.
The
So I've
Asian
been learning this
school.
whole time. So we have to like read, write,
Ah,
speak, type,
yes.
like all
Oh,
of that.
type.
So I'm pretty
Oh,
familiar. Yeah, I'm
oh,
pretty familiar with the
wow.
Chinese language. I'm very lucky too. Honestly, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't know their native language, and I think that's really important when you're trying to get to know yourself a little more.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely can relate to that aspect because I do wish that I didn't take Thai school for granted because they did put us through like the Thai school. Like when we
Yeah.
went to the temple, there's a
Yeah,
school also in
exactly.
it too. And I definitely took it for granted. And I was like, oh, just trying to play. Like, I don't want to be here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Then you
Um,
realize how important it is later on, and you're
yeah.
like, crap.
And then I'm just like, oh shoot. But
Darn.
at least though, I'm thankful that I can at least understand and I
Yeah.
kind of respond.
Hmm.
So I'm not like super unfamiliar with the language, but
Hmm.
I would want to be more comfortable,
Yeah.
especially like if I were to visit Thailand someday, or just also just to communicate with my family too, because it would be
Hmm.
fun. But
Yeah, it would
yes,
be.
my family like recently had this conversation because I brought it up because my
Uh,
sister had told me that for Thai people, you know how Thai people have long last names?
yes.
Some Thai last names are short. So like,
Hmm.
when Lisa from Blackpink, she's Thai, but she has a
Yeah.
but she has a short last name. So
Oh.
so I was like, oh, when I first like discovered Blackpink, I like looked up the members and I was like, oh, she's Thai, but
Uh-huh.
her last name's
Yeah.
not long like mine is. Or most of my Thai friends have long last names. So I was like unfamiliar with
Hmm.
like a short last name or seeing a short last
Yeah.
name. And then
Hmm.
so my mom and my sister had said that if Thai people have a shorter last name, that means that
Hmm.
they're truly Thai or like they're I don't know how to explain it, like they're real Thai. But like if they have a long last name, that means they're fake Thai. So like
What does fake Thai mean?
So I'm fake Thai, right? So that means
Uh-huh.
that my dad and my mom's family immigrated from China like a long, long, long time ago.
Oh,
But
I
like when
see.
they came to Thailand, they had to like blend in. So they had to like adopt their
Oh,
own Thai last name. So that's
I
why
see.
when they had picked a last name, they picked like a long last name so they could like blend in with Thai people.
Hmm. Hmm.
I thought that was interesting because then like you also look at like other Thai idols and some people have like short last names, but like very few have like long last names. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. Like, and
Hmm.
I would always joke with like our other Thai friends that like I'm fake Thai. Like I like identify myself as like culturally
Yeah,
Thai.
of course.
This is like the culture I grew up with. We do celebrate like Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year.
Hmm.
But yes, I thought that was an interesting fact that I never really thought about.
Yeah,
Like last
actually,
names.
Taiwanese people are actually immigrants from China as well. So it's like
Ah, so we're
they
all
learn the
just
same
trying
language.
to
Yeah,
blend in.
I know. I feel like for Taiwanese people, well, it's actually like Aboriginals, and then people
Oh,
emigrated from China like went there, and then I guess tried to like conquer the land,
oh,
unfortunately.
oh
But
no.
I mean, I think it's like the relations between like the Aboriginals and then the people
Oh,
that immigrated are improving a lot more. So that's really
yeah,
good to
yeah.
hear.
Oh,
Hmm.
yeah. I think that
Hmm.
now, aside from the violence that's happening recently, I think that a lot of
Yeah.
people have grown to appreciate Asian culture more, especially with the rise of
Yeah,
K-pop, the rise of
definitely. Oh my gosh.
yeah, like K-pop
Everywhere.
anime, like they're
Oh my God,
everywhere.
it's everywhere.
A while back, everyone would or people would be like ashamed to admit that they like anime or like K-pop.
Me.
But now it's like okay, or
Yeah.
at
More
least to more
acceptable, I
acceptable,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah.
to like anime or like be proud of liking anime or
Hmm.
K-pop, which is good. Like I want to be
Yeah, of
comfortable
course.
like saying like, oh yeah, I do listen to Blackpink.
You should be comfortable with what you're passionate about.
Yes, definitely.
Well, moving on
Oh
from like
yeah.
culture, like Asian culture,
Yes. Yes.
Asian role models,
Oh.
like YouTubers
Oh
or
yes. I
movies or,
yes.
you know.
I think a long time ago, like middle school days, I think everyone can say, or most people can say like names like AJ Rafael, like David Choi, Wong Fu Productions, like
Ryan Higa.
Ryan Higa.
Literally, I loved him so much. I thought he was the
Oh
funniest
my
guy
God.
ever. I watched it
Yes.
again and I was like, why did I think this was funny?
I think because like when
But
we're
I'm
in middle
glad.
school, we have that like XD random phase.
Ew, don't do that.
So like How to Be a Ninja was like super popular. I think it was
Yes, it
probably like his
was.
most watched video.
It
And then
probably
there'd be like
is.
that big green ball that he would like
Yeah.
toss around.
Oh my God. No. Actually, in like real talk though,
Hmm.
my mom would always try to play like Asian music for us, so we'd be more familiar with it. So I'm a
Hmm.
pretty big fan of Jay Chow. If you haven't heard of
Oh.
him, I highly recommend you listen to his music. It's very good. And then when I started learning Chinese instruments, my
Hmm.
teacher would make covers like of his music.
Oh.
So I would play it and it's just
Oh.
I love it. I
Oh, that's so
recommend you go listen to
cool.
Jay Chow if you haven't already. He's a Taiwanese
Yes.
singer. Very good. Very
Ooh,
good.
that's
Yes.
so cool. I wish that,
Mhm.
or I don't know if I wish that my parents listened to more Thai music because I guess like for Thai music, it's classical, traditional, at least the ones that
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know. But now I guess you could say Blackpink.
yeah.
I think GOT7 has the Thai
Yes.
member too.
Yes,
Anyway,
Nickun.
yeah. No, I think
Oh,
isn't
I just
Nickun
want to
2
plug.
p.m.?
Oh,
Nickun 2 p.m. I think it's Bam
he's
Bam.
from.
Bam Bam is GOT7.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think
Gangnam's
so. Let
Thai?
me,
No
yeah, Bam Bam's
way.
Thai. Yeah, you didn't know that? Let me
Oh,
check. Let me just check. Let me
no.
check.
That's crazy. I also just want to plug Suyu from Twice is Taiwanese. I love her. She's
Twice.
a queen. Anyway,
No,
yeah, I'm very
we're all
proud of
just
her.
gonna name Thai and
I know.
Taiwanese idols. Bam Bam is Thai. GOT7.
Wow.
Yes. Oh, can I even say this name? I won't try. But yes. I think definitely it's cool that K-pop can be like multicultural too. Like it's not just
Yeah.
Korean people. But yes. To you, Bam Bam, Lisa, hit us up. No, I'm kidding.
I wish. Oh my
I know.
God.
Ah.
I actually went
Um,
to Suyu Mom's cafe in Taiwan. And she had a bunch of like posters
what?
of them and then like they
I
were like
would.
signed
Oh my
and
God, look at my.
everything.
If I
And I
was a
took
mom, I'd be like,
pictures. Oh, I loved it.
ah. If I was a mom, I'd be like, look at my daughter.
I know. Hey,
Twice.
look. I wish she was there. Like her mom was there, but
Oh, that would have been amazing.
I
Oh,
know.
oh, so sad. It's okay.
Unfortunate.
Maybe one day we'll see them
I
in
know. I'll go back
person.
and be like, oh my God.
Going back to like Asian YouTubers, like I know I used to listen to AJ Rafael a lot. Like We
Hmm.
Could Happen, or
Oh my God.
what's the other song that he would sing?
Red
Uh,
roses.
Red Roses was really good. There was like that one song about a juice box. I forgot what it's called.
I forgot too. Oh
Oh,
well, juice box
but
song.
juice box song. Um, but I know now he's getting a little bit more popular because he does like
He
Disney
is.
covers. Um,
Yes.
and he
Love it.
actually in the college club that we were in, he had performed for us twice, twice.
Yes. Oh my God.
Oh, it was
That's great.
amazing. And then we got to meet him twice, and it was
Hmm.
great. And then yeah, I think he was a big one that I listened to. I know I listened to David Choi a lot. Kina Grannis. I don't know if you listen to Kina Grannis.
Oh,
Kina Grannis is
yeah.
really good. And then I also watch a lot of like Wong Fu shorts,
Hmm.
or their
Yeah.
I know Strangers Again was a really big
Yeah.
that
It really was.
would have been good for our relationships video.
I know. I could do the combination of those two.
Oh yes. But yes, I think those are probably because especially back then when we were still growing up, it was good to
Mhm.
have like these Asian role models there
Yeah.
for us to watch and just see that they're able to do all these things, especially because they're all in the art field too, like kind of
Yeah,
the field
exactly.
that parents wouldn't want you to go, at least like
Yeah.
stereotypically. So
Hmm.
they're all in like artistic fields like video, music. So it's cool to
Hmm.
see someone like you on your
Yeah.
computer screen.
And it's really cool to see it even more now with like Crazy Rich Asians. And then the
Yes.
new
Oh,
movie just came
yes.
out, Raya
Yes.
and the Last
Oh yeah,
Dragon. I
right.
haven't watched it
Yes.
yet, but I'm very excited to
Oh,
watch it. It
I
looks
know.
really good.
Yes. I know there's another Netflix movie. Oh, what was it called? Oh shoot.
Always Be My Maybe
Oh, was
with
it
Ali
that?
Wong and Rand. No, I don't know.
Oh, that one. Oh, I mean that one too, but
That one was good too. Yeah.
it was like an animated film. Oh shoot.
Oh,
It
the
had
moon thing,
the
right?
moon thing. Yes, the
Yeah,
moon
what is it called?
moon
Oh my
over the
God.
moon.
There, the
Over
moon
the moon.
thing.
I literally had to try Netflix moon movie. But Over the Moon was super good. I cried during it.
Oh,
The songs in it were amazing. I loved it so much. But yeah, definitely like now it's cool to see more Asian representation in media
yeah,
too.
definitely. Nice.
Yeah, especially I think with the rise of like Crazy Rich Asians, I think that was like
The
one of the
one thing that
turning
really like
points.
sparked it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also think I cried watching Crazy Rich Asians too.
Yeah,
Oh my
same.
God, Keena Grannis was in it too. Oh, she's
Oh,
saying
I know. So good.
Can't Help Falling in Love. Oh, what a good scene.
That's the part where I started crying.
Oh my gosh,
I was like, oh my
the
God,
wedding,
beautiful.
the wedding is
Yeah.
so beautiful. I
And then
know
the
I
water
could
was kind of like,
oh yeah, she was wearing like boots
like,
during
oh,
her wedding. It was so cool though, like when the water like came
yeah,
in
it
and
was
like went with the
pretty.
lyrics
Oh
too. I think it's like right
my
like a
God.
river flows and then the water
Water
flowed
came.
through. Oh, it was so
So
good.
beautiful. Anyway.
So beautiful. Yes. But I think that kind of ties into like role models now because nowadays like kids can
Mhm.
see like, the
Yeah.
Asians on movies now
Yeah.
too.
Hmm.
So that's very cool. And I know like in the past though, like for at least movies, I know there would always sometimes like for like action movies or whatever, they'd always have that like one Asian guy like to be there
Yes. Every time.
every time. Yes.
Like a smart Asian guy
Oh, a smart
or like
Asian, someone who could
Asian
do kung
boss.
fu, math,
Yes.
like
The smart guy,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I think especially now they've been able to grow out of that
Yeah.
whole
Thank
not just
God.
a smart guy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. Do you have any other role models that you might have looked up to?
Honestly, I hate saying this, but like I didn't watch too much YouTube or stuff
Hmm.
growing up. I
Hmm.
played outside because that's what my mom wanted. So I was really into like the
Yes.
more traditional like Asian pop stars
Okay.
for music and
Yeah.
stuff. But
Ah.
I watched more like through middle school, like Kev Jumba. Forgot to mention him.
Kev
He was
Jumba.
cool.
Oh my God.
I really liked his
Amazing.
dad.
Oh, his dad. I
He's so
remember,
funny.
yes. I think like later on, like he started making videos with his dad, and then
Hmm.
that's so cute. Like I think
I
when you
know.
find something that you can do with your parents, I think that's
Yeah.
awesome too. I would watch his videos too. Yes. I know I had a friend that looked like him too, and we'd always like, oh, you look
Yeah,
like Kev
really?
Jumba.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So we'd always, not always, but whoever knew Kev Jumba, would bring it up like, oh, you kind of
Yeah,
look like him.
that's fun.
But yes, I know he doesn't really do much nowadays though. I
Mhm.
don't really see much of like popular Asian role models that we like have
Yeah,
talked about. Like I
there's
don't
much
really see much of,
anymore.
yeah, I haven't seen much of like Ryan Higa or
I know he
Ish.
streams a lot. I've
Oh
watched his
yeah.
streams a couple times.
Okay,
Hmm.
yeah. I know streaming has become really big nowadays too.
Yeah, really
So
has.
I think AJ Rafael does. No, I don't know if he streams, but I know I've seen some of his stuff on like Instagram. He does
Okay.
partnerships with Disney. Because he's a big like
Ooh,
Disney fan. Yeah. Him and
yeah,
his I don't know,
lucky.
are they married? Him and his fiance, I think. Fiance.
Significant other if we don't
Significant
know.
other, yes. Partner. Do like
There you go.
covers on YouTube too still. So that's
Look
awesome.
at how nice.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
then I know actually I watched a movie on Netflix. I forgot what it was called. It was kind of like a movie set in Hawaii. Um,
Ooh.
Let me look it up what it was called. But Ryan Higa was in it because he's from Hawaii.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Finding Ohana was the movie. He's like he made a cameo in it. And I was like, oh,
Okay.
I know who that is.
Oh, I know that guy.
It's Ryan Higa.
Oh.
Yes. So that's cool to like see him be in something recent.
Hmm.
But yes. I guess like speaking of growing up, did you grow up around a lot of Asians?
My community was basically Asian. Just I grew up in a pretty Asian area. I went to a lot of predominantly Asian schools, so I met a lot of
Mhm.
Asian friends. So
Yes.
yes, I grew up with a lot of Asians. Like my friend
Yes.
groups, mainly Asian.
Yes.
And then when I went to college, mainly Asian, just
Asian.
because I just relate more to them and it's just more comfortable,
Hmm.
I guess. So it's
Yes.
just with a lot of
Yeah.
Asian people.
I think, yes, I think definitely growing up, like my community was also the same, like very Asian dominant areas. And then
Hmm.
going to college, going to a school that is very ethnically diverse, like
Yeah,
it's, I guess,
it's
eye opening,
overwhelming. It's to
yeah,
some point.
overwhelming and
Yeah.
eye opening to see how many different types of people there are.
Hmm.
It's a good like culture shock too,
Oh
because
yeah, definitely.
it's cool to be able to meet people from other cultures. But
Hmm.
I definitely relate to you where like I would always stick with like other Asians just inherently, not because
Yeah,
like
I
I
know. I just don't even choose it. I just constantly gravitate towards
yeah,
that.
and I think just
I
because
kind
like
of wish I didn't, but
yeah, I know we were able to make friends like in other like cultures too, but I think
hmm
predominantly we would stick with other Asians. And I think
hmm
just because also the extracurriculars that we participated in, like were just mainly Asian dominant as well.
Yeah.
Just happened to be Asian dominant. So
Yeah.
yes, I also grew up around a lot of other Asians too. But I think like
Uh-huh.
for me, I didn't grow up around a lot of Thai people. It was mainly,
Yeah, me too. Not a lot of Taiwanese people out there. It's like anything like but your own culture.
yeah, right. But I
The
mean,
more I
like
think
even
about it,
though,
like,
yeah, same. But even though I didn't grow up around a lot of Thai people, it's still cool to interact with other like
yeah, yeah, of
Asian
course.
cultures. Yes, yes. Hooray.
I think talking about family, like
Mm,
Asian families, it's pretty
hmm.
important because we don't talk about that often in Asian
Yes.
culture.
Yes.
You're usually just so focused on yourself, and
Hmm.
then that's it. And then usually you work for the rest of your life to provide for what, like your child, your parents, and then that's it. You don't really have like that bond with them as much as you would want. And I think
Yeah.
that's very obvious in Asian cultures where you just don't have like that strong connection like with your parents as much as you would like.
Yeah.
That's why they have like those shorts about like parents and kids bonding and then you start crying for some reason. Like
Oh my
Bao from
goodness.
Disney. I
Yes.
don't know why that was so emotional, but yeah.
Yes. I know if you've ever watched a Thai commercial, like
Oh my God.
they're so sad. If you ever feel the need to cry,
There it
watch a
is.
Thai
Exactly.
commercial. I think it's like a
You're
Thai like
done.
a Thai like medicine
Thai
company or
life,
some
like life
Thai
insurance
life
commercial
life
or something
insurance. Yeah,
like
I think it's
that.
life
Yeah, there you
insurance.
go.
But they're always so sad. But I
Oh my
always
God,
feel
yeah.
like I can relate to them because even
Exactly.
because it's just like they're always about family, like connecting with your family, and or
Mm-hmm.
like the first part is like ignoring your family or something, and then they come
Yeah.
together later and they hug it out, cry it out, and then you start to cry,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're like, oh no.
It's my turn to do that.
But yes, if
I
you
was
ever need to
watching,
cry, watch a Thai commercial.
yeah, I remember one time I was a freshman in college and then
Hmm.
I lived with like two other roommates, right? And
Hmm.
then I don't know why we decided to watch like a Thai Life commercial. And then we were all sitting there watching one computer screen and I was sitting in the back and then it was getting to like the part where you cry. And then my two roommates in the front were like, oh my God.
Oh no.
And I'm sitting like, why are we
What's
crying? I
happening?
don't cry all the time, which I feel like makes me look
Like,
cold-hearted, but I swear
oh.
I'm not. I don't know. I
It's
just don't
okay.
cry at like every single thing. But like,
Yeah.
I know
I
it's there, but I just don't feel the
yes.
need to cry.
That's okay too.
I honestly feel
Um
like the Taiwanese thing. We don't cry a lot. I'm
I
serious.
mean, I feel
It's
like
really
oh,
weird.
I feel like for me, I definitely think that I've gotten more emotional over the years. If you ask me like when I was in middle school, it's like I'm not a crybaby, like I don't cry.
Yeah, no, I was a crybaby like all the time.
But like now, like if I watch a sad movie or like I can relate to happens in a movie, I'll like shed a tear, like
Oh my God, I'm crying. Stop.
yes, the last episode you mentioned to all the boys,
Oh my
and
God, I love that movie. Oh
yes, I
my
watched
gosh, it's so good.
the last one, that same week, and then I
Yeah.
had cried towards the end, or I like teared up. I don't know if I cried, but I know I definitely
Mhm.
teared up towards the end, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, no, it's happening. I didn't want to
Never
cry, but
again.
it's released. Yes, crying if you
Family.
ever want to cry.
Yes.
Family. I don't even
I
know
feel
where we're
like
going with that.
family is so important. Like I don't know. I'm just gonna talk about like my Taiwanese
Oh
family, I
yeah.
guess.
Yes.
Like okay, I go to Taiwan like every year. Every
Okay.
year, and ever since I was a kid, like in the summer, we would always
Mm.
go. We'd always see my family there. We'd eat,
Oh,
we'd hang out, we'd have fun. I
yeah.
know.
Oh.
I feel so close to like Taiwan and my family there. Okay, I guess it's about like Taiwanese people in general. I've
Hmm.
noticed that they all just work like super hard and they're just super motivated and they're just super helpful. Like I don't know why
Yeah.
Taiwanese
Oh, that's
people are just like
good.
nice. I love them. Sometimes they're a little more too straightforward for me, but
Mm.
I know
Sometimes
they
you need
have
that
good
in your life.
intentions.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really proud of like where I come from and stuff.
Oh, that's
But
good.
yeah,
Yeah. Yes.
my
I
Taiwanese
know.
family is like super lively, super nice, and I
Yes.
feel like I want to be like that with my future
Yeah.
family, if I have one,
Yes.
you know.
Oh,
Mhm.
yes. Do you still stay connected with your family in Taiwan? Like even
Yeah.
if you're like here?
Yeah, we have a line group. I still talk to my cousin
Oh
pretty
yeah.
regularly. We play
Yes.
games together sometimes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they like message us pictures of like Taiwanese food that we really like, and I'm like, that's not
Oh.
fair. And they
Like
always
wish you
ask
were
me like, when are
here.
you guys coming back? And I'm like, well, I can't because
Oh.
COVID.
Yeah.
But yeah, it
Oh, so
always feels
you
like I'm home. there.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
kind of want to like live there, honestly, but
Oh,
there's just so much to think
maybe.
about. So I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna just stay here for now.
Yeah, stay where you grew up, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's cool. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So you weren't able to go back this year. Well, yeah, I guess.
I went,
Or
the
did
last
you?
time I went was end of 2019, beginning of 2020. Yeah. We were able to go to
Okay.
Korea, Japan, and then we went to Taiwan for
Oh,
a
so
week.
jealous. Oh, that's when you went to Chewy's cafe or Mom's
Yes.
cafe.
No, no, that was a year before that.
Oh, was? Oh,
That
what?
was even before. Yeah.
What? Ah,
I know.
jealous. What? I hopefully that I know I saw something about COVID where by the end of May they would have enough vaccines for like all America, all
Yeah.
like adults. I was like,
Crazy.
whoa. So hopefully like travel will be available soon so you can go
Mhm.
back to see your family in
Yeah.
Taiwan.
Really want to go. I miss them so much.
Yeah. Have they ever
Mhm.
come here?
Yeah. They came, I think the year I graduated, 2019.
Oh
And
wow.
then they came over, and my cousin really likes Star Wars and like
Huh?
Disneyland. So we went
Yes.
a couple days.
Oh,
So it was
oh, when
great.
you
And they
could the
love
good
like
times.
American food. They like Chipotle. They like In-N-Out. So I was like, here, let's go there, you know?
Yes. The best
So
cuisines.
yeah. Ah, but I mean, In-N-Out, okay, I understand that.
Yes. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's at least they were
Hmm.
able to visit recently. Like it has it
Yeah.
been like a super long time
Hmm.
since you've seen them. And that's awesome.
Hmm.
Oh, how nice. I know I guess for me, I haven't been to Thailand since second grade, I think. So it's been a long, long time.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my
It's been
God.
a really long time since I've been able to go to Thailand. And I
Uh-huh.
really want to go. Me and my sister, my oldest sister, the one I currently live with,
Hmm.
we had both graduated high school and college respectively. So I was graduating high
Oh
school.
wow.
She was graduating
Uh-huh.
college
Hmm.
at the same time or the same
Hmm.
year. And then so we were like, oh, this is the perfect time to go visit Thailand because we were like
Hmm.
graduation present type of thing. But then we ended up going to DC instead because it's cheaper. But
Oh,
also, yeah, I know
okay.
we really wanted to go to We've been wanting to go to Thailand, but obviously we can't
Hmm.
right now currently. But I know my sister, my middle sister, was able to go to Thailand on a like academic kind of
Oh,
abroad
nice.
program. So
Wow.
she went by herself too. So she stayed with my dad's family in
Oh,
Thailand, and
nice.
we were both jealous. We were like, oh, take us with you. And then
Yeah.
I know like my parents would go more often than we would to like when we were in school, like they would
Uh-huh.
sometimes go, I think for work because they own a Thai delivery business. So they like delivered Thai
Oh,
goods
very
to like
cool.
other restaurants.
Ooh.
And so like being a part of that like food culture, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
they're like invited to a lot of conventions. And so one
Ooh.
convention that I always thought it was like kind of funny when you hear it, they go to like a rice convention in Thailand. They can sell and like they whenever they go, usually happens like every year towards the end of the school
Hmm.
year, like around May, I think. And then so when they come back, they would always have like bags full of snacks that like they would get for free
I
from these
mean,
vendors.
free snacks.
Yes. And I know
Something
like
Asian. Take all the free stuff. Anyway.
yes, yes, free stuff. You always take the napkins, take the utensils, the straws. But yeah, they would always come back with like snacks that like for us to try, and then we'd be like, this is good. Like,
Mhm.
oh, I don't know about this one, but that was be
Cute.
cool, like to like get that from like them and like try all
Hmm.
these new things. And then they would always sometimes sell these things too to other
Hmm.
people. In that sense, like they've gone more than we have, even though we've wanted to go to Thailand for so long.
Hmm.
I don't know, like my grandma sometimes goes to because she has a house there, so she'll sometimes go
Oh, nice.
back. Yeah, I haven't been there since second grade, I
Hmm.
think, and I don't really remember. Um, I'm not really too close with my family like in Thailand because I'm not too sure. I haven't talked to them in like a really long time, but like it's kind of like
Mm-hmm.
they know who like we are, but we don't really know who they are because we were so
Oh,
young
yeah,
when
yeah, yeah, of
like we
course.
interacted. So I don't really have too many memories of interacting with like my family in Thailand.
Mm.
But I know like when we were kids, like my dad's side of the family would sometimes come visit us. So I had very vague memories of that happening, but I don't really remember too much about them, which I wish
Mhm.
I didn't have that. Like I wish I was able to have more memories like of my
Yeah,
family in
of
Thailand and
course.
like be connected
Hmm.
more. But also like it's understandable too because I think my parents really wanted to start their life here in America.
Yeah.
So a part of that is like not disconnecting, but like just growing apart from, I guess, your family to settle yourself down, I guess. But either way, I really want to go to Thailand. Hopefully, we'll be able
Yeah,
to
of course.
in the future. I also want to visit like Japan, Korea, like all those like
So
main.
beautiful.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Like main Asian countries, or like even
Yeah.
countries that I'm not familiar with too. Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
just to travel again. Like I just want to travel.
Like honestly, just to travel. Be a
Yes.
very big thing.
Yes, like even if it's just traveling to see you. See
I know,
Monica.
like literally like 30, 40 minutes
I
away.
know.
Still can't even do that.
I know. I don't really know like any differences between like Taiwanese and Thai households though.
Maybe just like certain traditions.
Thai people have their own holidays. Like we
Yeah.
have like our own New Year's. We have like a water festival too that happens around springtime.
Yeah, we have
Um,
a Independence Day from like when we
oh,
separated from China. It's like October 10th or
oh,
something. It's
October
called the
10th.
Double 10. And then
Oh, 10/10.
yeah,
Oh.
and there's like this dragon boat festival. I don't know how to
Oh,
explain it. You just eat a bunch of like the glutinous rice wrapped in the banana leaves.
yes, I do
Yeah,
know what that
you
is.
eat that. There's
Yes.
also a thing where you eat mochi with like the red
Ooh,
bean or like black
yes.
sesame filling in there for
Oh,
like the full
so,
moon celebration, like after
oh,
Lunar New Year or
yes,
something like
yes.
that.
Or like moon
I don't
cakes.
know, something
Oh,
like that.
so
Yeah.
delicious. Ah, that sounds so good right now.
That kind of like distracts me from the my most favorite thing about being Asian is food.
Ooh,
Asian food is
yes.
so good.
It really is.
It's like
It really is.
superior. Oh my
It
god.
really is. Even though I didn't get to visit my family in Thailand too much, I was still able
Hmm.
to grow up with like Thai foods and everything. Like
Yes. Oh my
yes,
god.
my grandma used to own a restaurant, a Thai restaurant, like
Wow.
when we were younger. So we would always hang out Saturdays. Like I have really fond memories of that.
Mm.
And it's funny because like even though my dad's family's in Thailand, all my most of my mom's family's in America. My mom, she has two sisters, and then those two sisters only live like 10 minutes away from her in different
Oh, how
directions. So they're,
lucky.
yeah, so they're very, very close, like in proximity and
Oh.
also like in relationship. I know like our grandma's also staying with them and they would like take turns taking care of her. And they're able to
Oh.
do that because they live so close to each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's also like I have fond memories of like hanging out with them and being able to like see each other often and like hang out like at my grandma's old restaurant and things like that.
Mm.
So even though like I'm not close with my family in Thailand, I'm pretty close with like my family here, which
That's good.
I've always been thankful for. She would always like make like Thai foods for us. Like I would
Oh my
always eat
god.
them. So good.
So good. Oh.
I feel like Thai culture, one of the things you really think about is the food. So like Thai food.
Yeah, Taiwan too. I feel like it's a
Mm.
tourist spot solely for food. Like there's like
Yes.
night markets,
Yeah,
like
right.
noodles,
Yes.
rice.
Is 626 night market Taiwanese?
Night markets are a Taiwanese thing where you like
Oh,
have
okay.
food stalls and you just go down, they sell like
Yeah.
merchandise, they sell
Yes.
food, and
Okay.
then it's just like a nightlife
Oh, I see, I
situation.
see.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's amazing.
Oh,
I feel like so many people like Taiwanese food.
yeah.
I mean, of course, it's good, but I mean, and I'm very lucky that my
Yes.
mom cooks Taiwanese food because as a
Oh my
kid, she
gosh,
only has two
yes.
sisters. They all grew up in
Oh,
Taiwan. Both sisters are actually in Taiwan. My dad's side is
okay.
here.
Oh, how
And then
opposite.
I know, yeah. And then she would have to cook
So
for them too
funny.
because my grandma would have to work because she's a single mother of those three.
Oh, oh,
So
oh,
she
you know
cooked a lot,
what?
and I'm so grateful for
Yeah.
that. Oh my
It's
god.
funny because, well, not funny, but relatable because my grandma is also a single mom who has to take
Yeah.
care of three kids. Isn't that funny? Oh my God, that's wow,
Wow.
we're so
Oh,
connected.
women. Yes.
Yes. We love independent women who can take care of their
Yes.
kids.
Working independent women.
Yes, like I guess another stereotype to bring up, or is it a stereotype? How like your family always makes sure that you eat.
Oh my god.
Like, have you eaten yet? Eat more. Why aren't you eating more?
My grandma had a stroke like a couple years ago, and she
Mm,
still asks us, "You need to eat more. Did you eat?
yes,
Why aren't you eating right now? You need to
yes.
eat."
My grandma too. Yes,
She
because especially
knows what's
because
up.
yes, especially because she owned a restaurant too. She's always like, "Oh, do you
Yeah.
want to eat something? Want me to make you something, or we could go out somewhere." I think she wants to be like a very social person, even though she can't
Oh.
go out right now. we've grown up around Asian foods. For food topics, do you have a favorite Taiwanese food?
I think I like the dry noodles. They have like the
Ooh.
minced like ground pork and then like braise it for a long time and then you like make noodles and then you like mix them
Mhm.
together. It's probably my favorite noodle dish. My mom makes it like all the time. I need to learn her recipes before she can't make it anymore.
Oh my
Otherwise, I'm gonna
God.
cry.
Yes. Oh my God. I
Yeah,
know.
it's probably one of my favorites.
Yes. I feel like I'm not super well versed in cooking, but I really hope that I can learn to cook at least one or
Yeah.
two Thai dishes because I
Yeah.
always just
Like, what
rely
are
on
we
my mom
gonna
or my grandma.
do? We're the ones carrying down like those family recipes, you know? Like, we have
Yes.
to learn those before it's too late.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna
Yes.
get lost.
Maybe I'll ask my mom next time, like, hey. But sometimes, like, when I
Yeah.
ask her, she's like, why do you want to learn? I'm like, but I just
Because I
want
want to
to
eat
make it.
food when you're gone.
She's like, I could just make it for you. And I was like, oh,
Well, I mean,
I
can't make it for me
guess.
forever.
Yes. I mentioned that my dad gets, or my mom and dad get all the like free samples. So like
Yeah.
one year when I went to call, or when I was going back from college from the summertime,
Mhm.
I had asked, we kind of used, they have like a warehouse for, where they keep all their like
Ooh.
food. Like
Mhm.
me and my sister like not grew up in the warehouse, but we would go, um, but we would go and like play there well when they had
Mhm.
to like watch us like
How
when we were
cute.
kids. So
Yeah.
we would like climb on all the like stacks of
Boxes.
rice bags,
That's cute.
like stop the rice bag.
Yeah.
So we like climb on everything, and then like nowadays, like when me and my sister go back home, we would use the warehouse as like a shopping area to
Oh,
like
that's so
get
cute.
food. And then one year
Mhm.
my dad had given me like a whole case of mama noodles, which is like a Thai brand
Oh
of
yeah, yeah.
instant noodle. It was like a whole
Mhm.
giant case. It was like 6 to 8 packs of 6 packs of
Oh
instant
my
ramen.
God.
That makes sense.
Yes.
It's
Jesus.
there was a lot of instant noodle, but I had a whole case. I didn't finish it within the year, but it was still like
It's
a
a
like
lot. That
no,
is a lot
yeah.
of noodles.
He just gave it to me and I was like, okay. It's like, here, you could eat this. And I was like, all right, I'll eat it. So I guess it's like
Okay.
another way of like showing, oh, make sure you eat enough.
Yeah, I think that's like the main way of how Asian parents and like ancestors like
Mhm.
show their love.
Yes.
To make sure you're well fed.
Yes. I also know there's that other thing where they like cut fruit for you.
Oh my God, my mom used to cut fruit for me every day.
Me
When I came home from
too.
elementary, middle to high school, I would come
Yes.
home after my tennis practice and then I would
Hmm.
do my homework and then mom was like, "Here,
Oh,
fruit." And I'm like,
here's a fruit.
"I just ate it.
Yes.
I
I
want to cut
know.
fruit for my kids."
Oh, me too. I know recently, the last time I visited home, my mom taught us how to cut mangoes. Because
Ooh,
it's kind of hard to cut a
cute.
mango because it has like the pit
It is kind
inside.
of hard.
So,
Yeah.
and they're like slippery too. So then she taught
Hmm.
us, and she like criticized me because
Oh.
I was really bad at it. but but it's
You'll get used to it.
okay. Yes. But yeah, it's really it was like a cute moment that we like shared together, like
Yeah, yeah,
learning
yeah.
how to cut like a mango.
It's also healthy, so.
Yes. But yes, cutting fruit. I know one of my favorite Thai dishes is a dish called kamen which
Mhm.
is translates to yeah
Okay.
rice with chicken. It's kind of like Hainan chicken. It's very similar. I think it might be the same.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay.
but it's one of my favorite dishes that like my grandma would make and like my family would make. And like
Mm.
there's this sauce that you eat it with that's like spicy
Ooh,
sauce. I don't know how to describe it. It's like brown and then you put it on top
spicy.
and then spicy and it's good, delicious.
Mhm.
So it's probably one of my favorite dishes. I know like
Mhm.
pad thai and like pad see ew are like a really
Oh,
popular Thai
I eat that a
dish.
lot. Yeah.
Yes. I know like when I was a kid, I used to not eat those, which is really weird, but I eat them now. Like I really
Mm.
enjoy them. It's one of my two of my favorite dishes now. But not like when
Yeah.
I was a kid, I was like, ooh, like that looks weird.
Ew.
Yeah,
Gross.
basically. And I don't know why. I think I was one of those kids that was like picky and I was like, if it looked weird,
Mhm.
that I wouldn't eat it for some
Me
foods.
too. Yeah.
Like I know for me, this isn't an Asian food, but strawberries. Like I always
I
thought
you still don't
strawberries.
like strawberries.
You don't like strawberries?
No, you still
Oh
don't like
me. Oh yeah,
strawberries.
me. I don't like strawberries because when I was a kid, I thought they looked weird, and then like whenever I ate them, I always think about the seeds on the outside, and then whenever
It
I
freaks you
tried to eat
out.
one, it like freaked me out, and I was like, oh, this tastes weird, and then like as I grew up, like I wanted to try to like strawberries, and someone would be like, "Oh, try this one. This one's really good," and then I'd eat it, and then it tastes gross, and I was like, "You lied to
Oh,
me."
maybe your body's just like rejecting strawberries.
Maybe.
This is very off topic, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But
Let's go back. But
strawberries.
strawberries, I don't like them. Sorry, sorry, strawberry stands. But, yes, Thai foods delicious. I liked pad Thai, pad see ew now. Didn't like it as a kid, but I like it now. So please don't hate me. Name pronunciations.
Very important
I know my last
for you.
name.
For you especially, you're gonna have some issues with that.
There's been many variations of my last name that I've that I've experienced, and I kind of just like let it happen. And then I finally say like, oh, and also
And
like,
by the way,
it's this. But I know for my last name too, like it doesn't look Thai at first glance. For some people, some people think it's Japanese. Like most common ones, most common ones I get are Chinese for like first based on appearance. Like I get Chinese and then Japanese, then Korean, and then like they just go down the list.
Yeah.
And then when I'm trying to say, oh, I'm Thai, and then they're like, oh, and then they look at my last name and they're like, oh, how do you pronounce that? Like, da 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 da. And I'm like, no. And then they keep trying, and I'm like, oh,
stop.
No.
Most Chinese, Taiwanese like last names aren't too hard. Usually like one syllable, at most like two.
Yes.
So luckily I haven't had that problem. I have issues with my first name, but that even it's not even Asian itself. But you know,
Monica.
Yeah, that's where I got my gamer tag
Your
from.
Twitch
But anyway,
channel.
Don't plug that in.
Yeah.
That's for another topic.
All right. I guess it goes back to the topic
like
of like
Japanese,
Asians.
Korean,
Yeah,
like
Asians looking
Thai,
similar.
like those names are hard.
Yeah, like Asians looking similar.
Yeah.
Like I guess in a sense, like in itself, like that's kind of racist. like assuming that everyone's the same from the same culture, and like people guessing how to say like your name or like things like that. I don't know.
I think
where
it's really important that at least you like ask where they're from instead of assuming, and knowing that identity is getting like becoming really important in like conversations these days. I think it's really important to like share like the details of where you come from, who you are, and I think that allows for like a better exchange of like ideas and just like beliefs with each other to make it a more peaceful world, at least. You know, even just trying to understand another person is just enough. Well, not enough, but it could be more. But at least you're trying. You know, that's what I think matters the most.
Yes. I know, like at least trying to pronounce someone's name correctly can mean a lot to someone.
Asking like, "Hi, how do you pronounce it?" instead of like saying it
trying
on your
to
own,
guess,
thinking you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny though, because I know I had asked my dad once, like, because I mentioned like earlier in the conversation that like we're fake Thai, like we're actually Chinese, but we were like culturally Thai. So I was like, oh, do we have like a Chinese last name? And he was like, yeah, I think it's, or not I think, but he said it was Ko, which is very very different from the last name that I have right now. It's very short. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, oh wow. But yeah, I was like, whoa. Like that's very different from the last name I have right now. But I've gotten like a lot of different variations of it, which is like, I don't know if it's sad or not, but like I guess because I've grown up with so many people being confused of like how to pronounce it, like I just got grown like numb, and like I've never really gotten offended by people being like, oh, is it pronounced like this, like are you this? I just like, well, like
at least they ask.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I haven't really experienced any like negativity on it. Like most people are like, oh, you're Thai, that's cool. Yeah. Then they always mention food, like, oh, I love pad Thai.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, isn't Taiwan like a part of China? I'm like, no, but you know, at least they ask, right?
Yes. True. I know that's very important nowadays too, especially with all the recent rise in media about Asian cultures and all that. So yes, educate yourself, be kind to other
learn
people,
about others.
Learn about
be open-minded. It's not too difficult, I hope.
Yeah. I hope not.
To know someone a little more. I think it makes a positive impact on both you and the other person.
A good question to end off with. I don't know if we talked about this yet, but like, what's your most favorite thing about being Asian? Besides the food.
Yeah, true. Besides food. I think I'm just really proud of like how hardworking we are to
Mm.
get to where we are today. Like
Yeah.
they're just resilient, you know, they just keep
Yes.
working. Although
Yes.
we might need a break every once in a while, but you know,
Yes.
the hard work is always going to be there. I think that's what I'm really proud about being
Yeah.
Asian. Hmm.
Yes. And then even though it's I know like our parents try to be like subtle about it, like, oh, they pressure us to work hard, but they only
Yeah,
want the best for us. Um,
exactly.
it comes from good intentions,
Hmm.
I think. And that's one of the most important things I think we can all
Hmm.
relate to and hopefully
Yeah.
understand, even though you might
Hmm.
think at the moment, like, oh, like, why are my parents like this? Like, why am I
Yeah.
feeling like my
Hmm.
parents don't love me enough? But
They just
hopefully
don't know
that's,
how to express that. But you
yeah.
just have to remember your parents do love you. They
Yes.
want the best for you.
Yes, definitely. Another thing that I like about being Asian is that
Hmm.
we talked about this before too, like there's so many different cultures, so many
Yes,
different like aspects
exactly.
of being Asian too. Like you could be one culture, but another person could be another one. And even
Hmm.
though um people may think that we look the same, like we're all very different.
Hmm.
And I think it's awesome that now that Asian culture has become more popularized, like it's cool to learn about other
Hmm.
people and other
Yeah,
cultures and other people from other cultures learning about our culture. So
exactly. A
yes,
cultural exchange. There you
yes,
go.
there we go. Yes, I think just being Asian is a very not easy, but it's very nice to be able to connect with other people.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that's one of my favorite things about being Asian. And it's also just like when, in school and stuff, when you see another Asian person, it's like you connect with them.
Yeah.
Yes, connection, love,
Yes.
love, love yourself. BTS.
Oh gosh. Okay, we're gonna end that there.
And on that note, yes,
Thank you.
thank you everyone for listening to this episode about growing up Asian. Let us know your thoughts about your own experiences of growing up Asian,
Oh
or
my God, peace
what,
sign.
yes, peace signs, or like what your favorite Asian food is, or what your favorite
What's
K-pop
your
song
favorite
is.
thing about being Asian?
Yes, your favorite
Yeah.
anime, favorite.
Oh my God. Don't go there.
Yes.
Just kidding.
Cool. On that note,
Okay.
two
See you
peepees
next
out.
time.
Yeah, two peepees out. Peepees. Peepees.